Hey, in today's video, I'm going to talk about how to forgive. And I'm going to give you one technique which, when I learned that, has helped me quite a lot to forgive people and events in the past, which had had traumatic and negative impact on my life. And I'm not saying that it's gonna work automatically, but it's gonna trick your mind into looking at the negative event or person from your past, which you've got to forgive from a completely different perspective. And that will be shifting for your capability to forgive. And I think in its large, we as humans can probably group ourselves into two categories: those who allow their feelings to kind of dictate how they behave and think in their lives more than thoughts. And then the other group is obviously the other way around. It's those who are guided more by the thoughts in their minds rather than their feelings. And for those who belong to the first category, and I'm not there, but let's say my mom is there, what happens that those people, they have a good capability. If, let's say, if it comes to forgiving somebody whom they love, then they can easily allow for the feeling of love for that person to take over the bitterness or anger or sadness, which were caused by that person doing something wrong to them. So my mom, for example, she's exactly like that. She just doesn't um, hold so long to an event in the past which is not pleasant. And she has a good capacity, and she in a way she's like a gazelle. And I use that analogy in one of my past videos. So imagine a gazelle being chased by a lion in savannah, and it's got to run really fast to escape, so that to survive. And when it has, it takes probably 10 or 15 minutes for the gazelle to come back to its normality and happiness and start enjoying grazing again. Whereas humans, we quite often have a tendency to kind of stay in that anxiety feeling and sadness and bitterness and just let it linger. So my mom, she's like a gazelle. She's got good capacity to pay attention to something else which pleases her, to the nature, to the birds. And she also has a capacity to replace the feeling of bitterness caused by somebody who has done something bad to her with love, for example, or some other feeling for that person. Or there is no any other feeling, let's say it's a stranger, then she just forgets and you know pays attention to something else which pleases her. So I think that's one category of people, and maybe you belong to that, maybe not. I don't personally. So for me, and it's the second category of people, we have tendency to overanalyze things and kind of create that, put ourselves into the victimized position in a situation when somebody has done wrong to us, um, because that's how in our minds we look at that. So we blame with thoughts the person for having done us wrong. And for this category of people to forgive, there have got to be some sort of a mental method which can help them to shift this mental flow of thoughts, um, in a way which can lead to forgiveness. And what I discovered, actually a few years ago, by I've been following Aaron Dottin, and he talks a lot about this, um, and it's something which I started applying in my life as well, and it has helped me big time to forgive people and situations in my life. And basically what you start doing, you start looking at the people whom you've got to forgive. Well, generally at everybody, you've got to understand that whatever we do, it's always limited by our consciousness. So in a way, all our actions and thoughts and what we do to ourselves and to others, it's restricted by our consciousness. And because that's how it is, in a way, we as humans, we become enslaved by our consciousness. We can't really, because whatever we do, we always do to the best of our understanding of the situation, how all the factors impact our decision making. And that's all consciousness. So in a way, we always make decisions to the best of our consciousness, which prevails at the moment when we make that decision. And that's a huge restriction, because in the end, we always are true to ourselves. And by that, I'm saying that there are always factors, always impacts within ourselves, our beliefs, our thoughts, whatever else is there, which form that decision for us. And there is always one outcome. At a specific point in time, there is always one outcome, which is the produce of all of those factors, which I call consciousness. So if you think of this, then you can start looking at humans and their ways of making decisions as they can't really do any differently, because we are enslaved by that conscious construct of how we make decisions. And then if you apply that to somebody who has done you wrong, by looking at them as being a slave of their own consciousness, by looking at them as not having been able to act differently in that specific situation, it can be easy, it can make it easier for you to forgive, because in the end, it could not have happened differently. The person could not have behaved differently, because they are enslaved to their own mechanism. So that's a technique, and try to look at our behaviors from that perspective. Because if, in the end, if something can't be changed, how can you not forgive? Because then there cannot be any other way how something can be done, how somebody can behave. And so think of that and subscribe to my channel, and until later.